You're welcome back to Breakfast Central. It's now time for us to look at the front pages of the newspapers. And join us to analyze the newspapers today is Dotun Ojon, a public affairs analyst and also a veteran journalist himself. You're welcome. Always a pleasure to have you.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Dotun on the show. Let's start with the Vanguard newspapers. Can we have the Vanguard newspaper up? Yes. The headline says, bandits again. Kidnap pregnant woman and 30 others in Niger and FCT. Kaduna Anglican priest dies in kidnapper's den. We're inches away from crushing banditry, says Defense Minister Badaru. IGP redeploys 11,566 redrawn police to underserved communities. And also on the front page, Jonathan returns as AU ECOWAS decry coup. You can see the picture of a smiling President Goodluck Jonathan, who arrived in Nigeria after being stranded in Bissau following his electoral observer duties in Guinea-Bissau, following the coup that happened in that country. And now they have condemned that coup. Trump, Tinubu approves membership for U.S.-Nigeria working group, who would iron out modalities and how to remove Nigeria from the CPC and also deal with insecurity. We need hope. Ambassador Algun, youth leaders, authors hail appointment of Uzodinma, and gunmen attacking against convoy in Anambra kill one, injure others. A very sad news there. But let's start with this screaming headline. Bandits kidnap pregnant woman, 30 others. Mr. President declared a state of emergency on insecurity in the country. Following that, the IGP has withdrawn 11,566 police personnel attached to VIPs. And the defense minister says we're crushing banditry. Are they really crushing banditry with this sort of headlines showing that people are being kidnapped on an almost daily basis? Quite embarrassing for the government.
It is.
If you say the least.
It is extremely embarrassing, and I think the government is also aware at this point that this has become, this has gone on for too long, and government is a continuum. This is not the problem of President Tinubu.
It didn't start with him.
It didn't start with him, but again, we have to understand that fighting terrorism or fighting terror is not a fight of deadline, usually. So when politicians come out to say, oh, we are close to it, we will win it and all of that.
The defense minister says we're inches away. You know what inches?
Yes,
it's not even
very close. Yeah, very close.
Do you believe him when he says this?
Yes, of course.
Or it's just rhetoric?
It is the prayer of every Nigerian that we solve this problem. I'm just here to remind us also that this thing did not start yesterday. And it's a fight of consistency. The other day that I was here, I told you the principle of commitment. That once you see commitment in the community, you just discover that so many things just align naturally. What we've lacked over the years is lack of strategy and lack of commitment. And they say in philosophy that most often that strategy is more important than energy. It's not just about telling the troops to go out there and crush them. Are we strategic enough in fight against it? When Goodluck Jonathan was there, I'm going to, because I saw him in the front page of the newspaper, one of the mindset of government, and you know no leader can actually outgrow or overdevelop more than his mindset. So what we had during Jonathan is that let's cage these people to the northeast. And they came and bombed the UN house in Abuja. It was then they knew that we are in a serious trouble. So we need to know the strategy that is driving our energy. Because if you do not have proper strategy, if people in the military keep leaking your information, keep leaking your secret, keep leaking your intelligence, then you are just going to be wasting your manpower, because at the end of the day, it will not provide or produce the necessary result. So I'm more keen on the strategy of this war, and it's not just about the deadline, it's about consistency.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's look at another story very quickly. Gunmen, okay, we've touched on that. Gunmen attacking against convoy in Anambra, kill one, injure others. Still it aligns with the insecurity situation. When you heard of that story, what was your take?
It just tells you that nowhere is safe. I just returned from Rivers, and I don't know whether the algorithm allowed that to circulate in Lagos. Yeah, immediately you open your listing in Port Harcourt, you begin to see that this story making the rounds that some people were trying to come to attack and all of that. It didn't make it to the major newspaper, so it's nothing to pay attention to.
15 of them.
Yeah, but the truth is that it has become very, very clear now that the fact that I am living somewhere before and I think, oh,
no
it's
one
not,
is insulated.
it is a serious matter in the community. And I think the complication that this has also caused within government circle is the fact that the concentration of this government they pay too much attention to what 2027 will say.
Politics.
It's unnecessary. We are just still halfway into this administration. So I think now it's a wake-up call for everyone, both in and outside of government. Sycophants and supporters of government must also understand that no place is safe now. So we must rally around the government. And I say this, and I will keep repeating it. There's no country in the world where, in terms of security, where you have everything you need. What people do, the 10% principle that I've said repeatedly on this show, is that there will always be this 10% in your community that are prone to committing crime. It is the duty of government to now rally the remaining 90% against this 10%. And how would the government do that? Make your people believe that you are actually working for them. That has been the gap. And I'll keep saying this because nothing seems to be able to work if the citizenry does not believe in the activities, the engagement, the policies, the program, and the project of their government.
That's a tough one. Let's also go to Nigerian Tribune. Don't forget the phone lines are opened. You can also be part of the conversation. IGP withdraws 11,566 police escorts from VIPs. The top right corner there. Jonathan safe out of Guinea-Bissau as Nigeria. AU ECOWAS condemn coup. Lawyers, party leaders, others dissect Tinubu's directive. Flush out saboteurs in government, they say. Military, MBF. Stop recruitment of soldiers. Establish state police body, George says. I hope President walks the talk. Okore. Federal government playing politics with citizens' lives. SDP's Adebayo and lawyers question timing, seek clarity. I'd like us to focus on the IGP withdrawing 11,566 police. Benga, you had touched on that, right? But
okay, so it's actually, if you ask me, it's a big story. Maybe perhaps the biggest. And if you will permit us, we can do a few further analysis on this. Now, if you look at, let's take the US, for example. Okay, the first thing I noticed yesterday is that the IGP was alarmed at that number. He wasn't sure that, maybe he never knew that it was that much. Now, if you do not understand the implication of the number, in the US, for example, if you pick the US, the total population of the US police stands at 1.2, 1.3 million men of the police. Now, if you look at this, the most populated countries, states with police, you can talk about the New York and California. The entire police population in California, for example, is 11,506.
What?
The entire police population in California. And now Nigeria has the capacity to give this exact number to protect VIP. Now, that tells you that the problem we've always had is not just about more men. I understand. There's been continental argument as to what is the ratio of police to people in the community. And the United Nations agreed that we should have at least reasonably one police to 450 people. When you do this calculation, Nigeria of 250 million people thereabout, we will need about 555,000 police in terms of the population in Nigeria. Now, you don't have this number. You have somewhere around 300,000. From this number of 300,000, we still can afford to allow wives of politicians to still be using them. We are not coming across as a serious-minded nation. Now, if you go further on that police story, you discover that there is also agitation for, create more state, let them have state police. If you look at the US structure that we look at, for example, from this 1.2, 1.3 million police that we have in the US, do you know that the federal only has about 134,000 police. The other ones are state department of police. So it means that when you allow states to actually have police, you are going to show up this number. I don't have problem with the number of police that we currently have, because what we are counting is federal police. Federal police should not be up to 300 and something thousand in a country of 250 million people. What that means is that majority of people in the federal police will not even understand the terrain that you are going to send them to. If we have people in the state, if we populate the state department, you create state department, police and all of that, you will see that these people will understand their terrain.
When can we create state departments using the current structure that they should come from Abuja, instead of having what some have termed as personal militias, like the Amotekun and the Ebubegu, that if you give them the power, those politicians will abuse them and they will be used to hunt down political opponents, that we don't have the majority for it yet. So should they rejig it in a way that deployment would be, police officers will be posted to their localities, because they have local intelligence, they understand the area and the people for more effective policing.
Okay, so when you look at the police structure in Nigeria, I'm so sorry, there's no security structure that should be patterned against the police structure we have in Nigeria today. It will fail. Unfortunately, you know, I was talking about security philosophy in Nigeria, and I cited an example that if you get to 10 organizations today, you see that the least paid people there are usually the security men. Why is that? It's a template that is copied from the police system. Now, there's another, if you check our police, you see that every zone, every geopolitical zone, I just want to, in case this state police does not work, let's look at how to rejig the federal system and make it more beneficial. If you look at the federal police that we have now, you discover that I think each political zone has a DIG. Can we make this DIG to lead from the zone? They make recruitment from the zone. Majority of them work from the zone. So for example, if we have DIG that is appointed from the southwest, can we make him work from the southwest, head the southwest zone, and at the end of the day, we now have a committee of inspectors general. They go to Abuja and give account to the Inspector General of Police, who will be in charge of all of this formation. But in a system where if somebody dies, if an inspector dies in my community, in a system where you take the file from my community to Abuja before gratuity is paid and all of that, it slows down a lot of things. And even the command system, you discover that now the president had made a command. I'm still going out now after here, because I have some of my friends that that are in the VIP corridor. They have police escort. I want to go and peep in their houses whether the police people are still there.
Whether this is an audio 11,000 or not.
Because the truth is that even the policemen, they love it. They love it. See, there are things I cannot say.
I mean, you look at their uniforms.
No, we've said it already. Their uniform, they look more fresh. They look more fresher.
I'm telling you real life situation that I was seeing, and I was opening my mouth. See, let me say, since I'm not going to mention them, they posted somebody to Bronu. He didn't go. He did not go. He's doing fine boy in Lagos here.
That's gross indiscipline.
It is.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Okay, please go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, my brother Benga, let me ask this question. Is federal police not being abused? Hello.
Very true. Yeah.
Go on.
I'm asking a question today. Is federal police not being abused? For me, it's not about the number. Let federal government of Nigeria, first of all, bring out the names of the sponsors. My brother Benga, some time ago, I watched a film, Above the Law. That's Above the Law. I don't know whether you people are comfortable with that film. which means if what is happening to us is close to Aso Rock, or if you people like, let everybody be police. The policy makers, they are still going to destroy our effort. Let the federal government of Nigeria have the mind to bring out the names of the source of these terrorists. They are within us. What is happening to us is within us. Let them do the first thing first before appointing or accepting number of police and military officers that are going to enroll. Otherwise, we are going to have more casualties. God bless you people.
Thank you very much. He says the current system, we already have abuses. And so
when you now come to state level.
Or state level. Anyway, I mean, this abuses persistent.
You're discussing about the police.
They go into issues like dreadlocks, wearing bomb shots and things like that.
Yeah, so
that don't concern them. We've seen Amatekun shave the heads of people in the south.
Now, it's actually one of the major issues we have is that at the end of the day, when there's no clear-cut philosophy of what we want you to do, then abuse is inevitable. I think one major issue that we have is that we just think that, oh, let's just put these people together. I saw in some of the states where you even think Amatekun is working, one of them is Ondo State. In some of those states, you don't want to imagine how those guys were recruited. If you go back to the basis of how did we get this number of people, you discover that I'm sorry to say, but it started from political party involvement. That the form has come, give it to your party man, and from there that's the foundation. Even in my own state, that's the foundation. I remember vividly.
Let's take this call. We'll hold you on that conversation. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. Morning, Christian. Please go ahead.
Hello.
So go ahead and speak to us, please.
Thank you. What I want to say on this issue is that if the federal government let them employ the whole Nigeria as a police officer or army officer, the officers are being infiltrated, the police are being infiltrated. Those who are coming to fight insurgency are being infiltrated. So there is no how you conquer insurgency until all those are being rectified. Until it's being rectified. You can't tell me that people will wake up and kidnap children. So what is the meaning of that? That means the government are not ready to fight insurgency. That's what it means. What are the priorities of the government is to secure life and property of the people. So why should all this happen in this country?
Thank you so much, Christian. Back to you.
So even if you go back, which is, I'm going to touch briefly on what he said, if you go back to the recruitment process from the very beginning, I don't know, but when it started, it was more of partisan involvement. Oh, give this form to people in your community. Then you now go to welfare, to remuneration. What do they take home at the end of the day? You can't give a man, for example, a gun, an AK-47, and give him what we give our police. You have empowered him for crime. More so that there's no proper indoctrination into the system. What do I mean? There are people...
It was Thomas Sankara that said a military man without an ideology is a terrorist.
It's a terrorist. So there's no proper indoctrination. If the bandit, the Boko Haramists can have a conviction that they can die for their ideology, there must be that amount of indoctrination that is given on the military side, that the people are willing to actually fight for their country and die for their country. But that is absent. And it's not something that happened yesterday. We need to lay emphasis on that. It is a demoralization that has happened over the years. And there's a general capacity collapse now as we speak. Now that nobody cares any longer. Oh, Do you want bullet? Do you want anything? Okay, I'll give it to you. Just bring money. Because at the end of the day, survival has become what is driving everybody. That's how low we've come. And it's going to take more than national orientation. It's going to take a generation of conscious indoctrination so that this country in any way does not go into ruin.
Okay,
well,
let's take a look at another newspaper, the Daily Independent. Nigeria's health system screams the headline at breaking point. Minister warns. If you do recall, the National Association of Resident Doctors, Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, is still on strike as we speak. Tinubu's directive, 11,566 policemen attached to VIPs withdrawn. They've taken that step. Federal government moves to end $4 billion loss from EU deforestation regulation. Jonathan Safe evacuated from Guinea-Bissau, and Tinubu names Ribadu to lead US-Nigeria joint working group. And Senate confirms Omidiran as chairman, Eze, 36 others as federal character commissioners. Rejects bill to establish National Ethnic and Reconciliation Commission. We wanted to establish another commission, the National Ethnic and Reconciliation Commission. You have the National Orientation Agency and the federal character. Lamido gives PDP 10 days to resolve internal crisis. Will 10 days be enough, or we still see a repeat of the showdown at Wadata Plaza? Buyers face hidden dangers in affordable Tokumbo cars. And also on the headline there, 24 persons abducted in fresh bandits attack on Niger community. Wike demands update from Defense Ministry over disputed Abuja land. That's the incident with the Yerema issue. And also the front page here, we can see the picture of senators smiling there after a session. And today is Friday.
Today is the dinner. Are you aware?
The First Lady have invited them, according to Joe, to come and see.
I'm not aware.
Okay, you're not aware.
But the truth is that there's the need for synergy between the various arms of government. There's a need for proper synergy. Now, if I really do love you, the word synergy does not take away correction if I need to make. The word synergy does not take away rejection if I need to make. The word synergy does not take away rejection if I need to make rejection. Correction, discipline, as at when due. So I love the fact that there's synergy between the arms of government, but the synergy must be to the benefit of the Nigerian people, not the kind of, the word paddy arranging. There was a song like that. That's not the synergy I'm talking about. But the synergy is that you are on your lane in Lagos traffic, and I'm on my lane, and we know understand that we are not enemies. We're actually working towards the development and the growth of the nation. So I think.
What do you make of the First Lady's invitation to members of the Senate for
the 10th Senate, 109
dinner? An interactive session.
It's still to create room for engagement. It's not a bad one.
Wow.
It's actually not a bad one.
Wow. When we have people that are still in the bush, in kidnappers' den, what sort of message does this send?
Okay, so now the concept of communication.
Is it not tone deaf?
Yes, the concept of communication can now come in. The program itself, there's nothing wrong about the program itself. Now we can now say the timing of the program could now be where the question will be. But having dinner with senators, there's nothing wrong about that. Governors can call anybody to have dinner.
As a former senator.
You understand, there's nothing wrong. But the timing now can now send a different message to the Nigerian people, which is what I'm actually concerned about. Now, you talked about setting up another committee, reconciliation and all of that. Yeah. And I want to talk about our communal mentality as a people. As we speak now, we are Nigerians. But the truth is that the belief, our sectional beliefs, seem to be different. I just told you, I just arrived from Rivers. And I was trolling. Then somebody said something that is very important, and I used that to gauge the mentality of an average Nigerian. He said the army general that died in the hand of Boko Haram, he said if that had happened in southern Nigeria, he said by now 2 communities will have been wiped out by the military. When I saw that, I had to sit down and properly process that. It means that many sections of this community that we call Nigeria still feel that they do not belong to the community. They still feel cheated in any way. They still feel that Nigeria as a community is not treating them very well. So for you to cure all of these sectional beliefs, the only cure from all of this is good governance. It is not establishment of another agency or this thing of government. You remember the Orosai report of 2012. One of the things that he recommended is for us to put all of these ministries together so that there's more efficiency in government. So we cannot, again, politics comes with a false impression of solving one problem. But the reality is that politics really solves one problem and creates 9 other ones.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Dotun Ojon, for a Friday, for analyzing the papers with us. Always great to have you. And thanks to our callers as well.